So let's start with today's topic. Development of face, development of tongue, development of palate, development of nasal cavity. ठीक है, हम ये आज की क्लास में कवर करेंगे. बहुत सारे टॉपिक लग रहे हैं पर ये इजी टॉपिक्स हैं और ये एग्जाम में भी आते हैं, तो स्कोरिंग मार्क्स के लिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. ठीक है, जिसमें डेवलपमेंट ऑफ टंग तो मैक्सिमम टाइम्स इट कम्स इन योर एग्जाम, क्योंकि और कैसे पढ़ो नहीं पढ़ो पर एग्जाम के इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन के नाम से तो यू विल पे अटेंशन, नहीं? So first we will cover face, then palate, so then nasal cavity, then palate, and then development of tongue and anomalies associated with palate, face and tongue. Okay, so last class was of pharyngeal arches, pharyngeal cleft and pharyngeal pouches. So pharyngeal apparatus was the last class. Now today's class is also related to the previous one, pharyngeal arches. Okay. So development of face we will start with. किसकी शक्ल मिलती है इससे? इतना कोई तो क्यूट तो कोई नहीं है ना? है कोई? तो बस हो गया क्रिंज. ठीक है. Development of face basically takes place during 4th week to 10th week of intrauterine life. In the last class we discussed what is stomodium. Yes, the girl in blue. In the last class we discussed stomodium. We started with stomodium. Stomodium is basically a depression between forebrain vesicle and pericardial bulge. It's basically lined by buccopharyngeal membrane, and in 4th week buccopharyngeal membrane ruptures and it leads to oral cavity. Okay, so stomodium is basically present between the bulging forebrain vesicle and the caudal pericardial bulge. Yes. Now, how this development of face takes place? So there are elevations surrounding the stomodium in the form of processes. There is this frontonasal process, maxillary process and mandibular process that are formed, which that fusion of these processes leads to formation of complete face. Okay, so there are mesenchymal growth or swelling or processes in the area surrounding the stomodium. So can you demarcate stomodium in this diagram? This central area, this is the stomodium. Right now it is lined by buccopharyngeal membrane. Then this buccopharyngeal membrane ruptures. Now there is swelling surrounding this stomodium. There is mesenchymal swelling here in the upper part, just below the forebrain vesicle. This is frontonasal process. There are maxillary processes which is formed cranially in the first pharyngeal arch. Okay, so it is basically in the dorsal and the cranial part of first pharyngeal arch form the maxillary process, and the third swelling or the prominence is formed in the caudal part of first pharyngeal arch, which is mandibular process. So there is frontonasal process, there is maxillary process and there is mandibular process. Maxillary and mandibular process is developed. They are developed from first pharyngeal arch. Frontonasal process is mesenchymal growth just above the sternum and below forebrain vesicle. Okay, development of face starts in the 4th week of development. Then there will be formation of nasal blockade or the swelling. There are rounded swelling which are formed on both the sides of the face, which are known as nasal placodes. Nasal placodes जो है, they will actually form nasal sac and then nasal cavity. So these are the processes we are talking about. The central opening is the oral fissure or the oral cavity, which is known as stomodium. Okay. Now the blue marking here, it is shown. This prominence is frontonasal prominence. Then you have The one which is in purple color, these are paired maxillary processes, and the lower one which is colored in red is mandibular. So our maxillary is paired one, frontonasal and maxillary process is unpaired. So mesodermal process, these appear in the 4th week of intrauterine life, form frontonasal process, paired maxillary process and mandibular process. So mesoderm surrounding stomodeum thickens and produces these mentioned swellings. Mesoderm, basically here it is derived from which cells? These are derived from the neural crest cells. We had a discussion also, viscerocranium. Viscerocranium is that part of the skull which is surrounding the face. So the facial mesoderm is basically derived from the neural crest cells. Next, frontonasal process is the mesodermal covering the forebrain vesicles just above the stomodeum. Now, what are the steps involved in development of face? We have covered the swellings like this frontonasal, maxillary and mandibular. Now, what happens in the frontonasal? There are two swellings here on both the sides. These are nasal blockades. In the center of the nasal blockade, there is formation of a nasal pit or a depression. Now, surrounding this depression, something is depressed. Why? Because its margins are elevated. So, elevated margins of this nasal blockade surrounding the nasal pit on the medial side, these are known as medial nasal process. And elevated margins on the lateral side of the nasal pit, they are known as lateral nasal process. अब कितने process हो गए आपके? Frontonasal process, basically medial nasal process and lateral nasal process. These are arising from the frontonasal itself. Okay, because of the formation of a swelling nasal blockade, they form nasal pit and their margins are elevated, and medial margin of this nasal pit is known as medial nasal process and lateral margin is known as lateral nasal process. Okay, so this nasal blockade is also known as olfactory blockade because it is going to form nasal cavity. Now, nasal pit, we have discussed maxillary process. Now what happens? This maxillary process starts growing towards the medial side and it fuses with the lateral nasal process and with the medial nasal process. In the midline, right and left medial nasal process. Please look at the diagram. Now what will happen? Now these swellings will come closer in the midline and they will fuse with each other. Medial nasal process of both the side, they will fuse and form the central part of the upper lip and central part of the upper jaw and premaxilla. Lateral part of the upper lip is formed by the maxillary process. Lower lip is formed by the mandibular process. Now fusion of lateral nasal process with the maxillary process will in the diagram. Okay. So till now, is it clear? Nasal blockade, then there is a depression which is known as nasal pit, and then their margins are raised and they form medial and the lateral nasal process. So till now we have discussed this much part. So this is the electron micrograph of around 6th week of fetus. So here you have all the swellings that we have discussed. Now you can demarcate. Frontonasal process basically forms the forehead part, bridge of nose, okay, and then dorsum and tip of the nose is formed by the medial nasal process, and lateral nasal process forms the ala of nose. Maxillary process, upper lip laterally, and cheeks are formed by fusion of mandibular process with the maxillary process. See, if you can see during development, this opening, oral fissure, opening of the mouth, it is widened. इतना बड़ा थोड़ी ना होता है opening, है ना? It is transversely, it is widened. What will happen with time? There is merging of mandibular process, there is fusion of mandibular process with the maxillary process, and they form angle of mouth. They will reduce the oral fissure, okay, and they will form the part of the cheek. So maxillary process plus mandibular process, they form They reduces the oral fissure, yes, and they form the part of the cheeks. So as these medial nasal process, they come closer and they fuse with each other, okay, and lateral nasal process also fuses with the maxillary process. What happens? This nasal part is separated from the stomodium by the developing palate. Now the nasal sac is separated from the developing palate. It is separated from the stomodium. Intermaxillary part I'll show you in the next diagram also. Intermaxillary part is derived from the medial nasal process. Both the side of medial nasal process, they fuse and they form intermaxillary part. There are three things that are derived from intermaxillary part. Central part of the upper lip, which is known as philtrum. Then central part of the upper jaw, including 4 incisors. And the premaxilla part. Okay, have you seen maxilla? So the central maxilla part, palatine process of the maxilla is like it's a triangular in shape. So it forms the premaxillary part of the maxilla. So basically, what are derived from these structures? Medial nasal process form intermaxillary segment. Now, what is derived from the intermaxillary segment? You have to write down these things. Okay. Central part of the lip, which is known as, this part of the lip is known as philtrum of lip. It is derived from medial nasal process, intermaxillary segment. Then central part of the upper jaw and premaxilla part, these are derived from the intermaxillary segment, which is formed by the fusion of 2 medial nasal process. Upper part of lateral part of the upper lip is formed by the maxillary process. Now mandibular arch is going to form lower lip. Fusion of mandibular arch with the maxillary arch is going to form angle of the mouth. They are going to reduce the oral fissure and they are going to form cheeks. So, जो frontal nasal process and maxillary process and mandibular process का part है, वो हमने color diagram से show कर रखा है, ठीक है? These particular part, their basically sensory supply is again by the trigeminal nerve, branches of trigeminal. Upper part is derived. Sensory supply face का हो चुका है. The one which is forming the one which is formed by the frontonasal process, the forehead part, the bridge of nose, it is supplied by which nerve? Sensory supply I am talking about. Yes? Sensory supply? Yes? Trigeminal की कौन सी branches हैं? Ophthalmic, maxillary and mandibular. So this part, forehead part and the bridge of nose, ophthalmic, and then the maxilla, upper jaw, cheek part, maxillary, and the lower jaw and the lower lip, mandibular. Next is development of nasolacrimal duct. Nasolacrimal duct basically forms by the fusion of maxillary process with the lateral nasal process. Here you have lateral nasal process, now there is maxillary process. Now fusion of these two process near this nasoaptic furrow. See, this is nasal placket which is going to form nasal cavity, and just behind to this or laterally there is formation of optic placards. Okay, in between optic placards and nasal placket there is nasooptic furrow. Here in the nasooptic furrow, what will happen? Some mesenchymal cells which are basically derived from the maxillary process and the lateral nasal process, they will go inside and they are going to form nasolacrimal duct. Initially, this nasolacrimal duct is solid in nature, it's in the form of solid cord, and then canalization of this occurs. What happens if canalization does not take place? Then it is known as something which is formed by the canalization. If does not take place, then what will happen? If canalization does not take place, this we have read throughout GIT, then it is known as atresia. Okay, lumen is not formed, then it is atretic. So if canalization does not take place, then it leads to atresia. So let us discuss the pathway. The upper part is dilated here near the medial angle of the eye. This forms the lacrimal sac, and then this nasolacrimal duct goes downwards and open in the nasal cavity in the inferior meatus of the nasal cavity. Okay? So this basically formed by the fusion of maxillary process with the lateral nasal process. So this is the summary. जितना हमने अभी डिस्कस किया है, ठीक है, हमने क्या क्या डिस्कस किया है? मेसोडर्म ऑफ फोरब्रेन वेसिकल्स, mesoderm of forebrain vesicle fronto nasal process. From the first pharyngeal arch, from the cranial part we have maxillary process, caudal part we have mandibular process. On the sides of the frontonasal process we have nasal blockade which forms nasal pit form medial nasal process and lateral nasal process. Medial nasal process, they fuse with each other, they form central part of the upper lip. Lateral nasal process and medial nasal process, they form the external nose. Medial nasal process is going to form dorsum and tip of the nose. Lateral nasal process is going to form ala of the nose, side of the nose. Then you have maxillary process fusing with the medial nasal process and it is going to form lateral part of the upper lip. Then fusion of lateral nasal process with the maxillary process, nasolacrimal furrow, which is going to form nasolacrimal duct and which is going to get canalized and form a proper duct. First pharyngeal arch, mandibular process, lower jaw, and fusion of maxillary with the mandibular process is going to form angle of mouth and cheeks. So this is the summary we have covered till now. Next, so what is given here in this theory part, the crux is that central part of the lip is formed by the medial nasal process. It is overlapped by the maxillary process with time. Okay. So what is going to happen? Basically the nerve supply here now will be upper part of the lip or the vermilion border. It is supplied by the maxillary nerve. Why? Because it is covered now. Medial nasal process is covered by the maxillary process. So now can you differentiate all these things in the 5th week? So this basically completes our development of face. Okay. So can you now, please anyone, can you now identify all the process? The central process here is frontonasal. Now these two openings are nasal pit. Then you have borders medially blue color, medial nasal process, the yellow one, lateral nasal process, and the green one and the pink one. So merging and union of these is going to form, it is going to form here in the central part of the lip by the fusion of medial nasal process. Forehead part and the bridge of nose is formed by the frontonasal process. Maxillary part is going to form lateral part of the upper lip. Along with the lower jaw, it is, along with the mandibular process, it is going to form cheeks and reduce the oral opening. This part is going to form lower jaw. Then next we have development of the nasal cavity. We'll cover it fast. Please pay attention. Till now we have covered that there is a formation of nasal pit. Now this nasal pit, it grows inside and it forms a nasal sac or nasal cavity. Right now this nasal cavity is separated from the oral cavity by the formation of a membrane which is known as bucconasal membrane. There is no communication right now with the oral cavity. Oral cavity here is basically in the form of endoderm. Because GIT part, you know, it is all derived from the endoderm. So this cranial part of the endoderm is going to form the oral cavity, the one which is yellow in color. So these two are separated by this bucconasal membrane. So what happens with time? There is rupture of this bucconasal membrane and there is a communication which develops between the nasal cavity and the oral cavity. Basically this anterior part of the nasal pit, which is between lateral nasal process and the medial nasal process, separated from the stomodium, now it forms anterior nares. Okay, and this rupture of the bucconasal part is going to form posterior nares. Okay, so basically this nasal cavity is the space between the anterior nares and posterior nares. So there is again communication. Now there is this developing palate. Right now it is in the form of premaxilla. है ना? There is palatine process here in the center. It is going to develop again posteriorly, and it is going to form floor of the nasal cavity. So floor of nasal cavity is what? Hard palate or palate. Okay. So when development of palate gets complete, floor of the nasal cavity is formed, which separates the nasal cavity from the oral cavity. Now in the roof, here olfactory epithelium, okay, respiration and olfaction, these are the function of the nasal cavity. So this olfactory epithelium basically is derived from the ectodermal cells. Then there are rootlets that are coming downwards. These rootlets are coming from the olfactory bulb. So these are basically neural processes which are coming down from the forebrain vesicle from the olfactory bulb. Good morning. You can go out if you want to. So you have olfactory epithelium in the roof and olfactory rootlets which are derived from the olfactory bulb. Next, we have discussed this part. This is bucco-nasal membrane. So rupture of this membrane, it is going to form posterior nasal aperture. So this is in all is a summary. What are the parts which are going to form the nasal cavity? Okay. So we have posterior nasal aperture by the rupture of bucco-nasal membrane. Okay. Then nasal septum. See, जैसे जैसे medial nasal process पास में आ रहा है, इनके बीच में क्या है? This is a part of frontonasal process. This frontonasal process, it is decreasing in size and it will remain as bridge of nose, and it is going to separate right and left nasal cavity by the formation of nasal septum. So frontonasal process is going to form forehead part, then the bridge of the nose and nasal septum. Okay. Next, you have dorsum and the tip of nose. These are derived from the medial nasal process, which is in the midline. And the lateral wall or the ala of the nose, these are derived from the lateral nasal process. Next, nasal conchae, which are inside in the nasal cavity. These are again the enlargement or the process coming from the lateral nasal process. Olfactory epithelium from the overlying ectoderm and olfactory rootlets from the olfactory bulb. Paranasal sinuses. Now these are the basically outpouching of the nasal cavity in the surrounding bones. Which are the pneumatic bones? Can you enumerate? Yes. What's your name? Stand up. Stand up. What are the pneumatic bones in which paranasal air sinuses are there? न्यूमैटिक बोन्स कौन सी होती हैं जिनमें पैरानेजल साइनसेस होते हैं? तो कैन यू enumerate bones having paranasal air sinuses? Basically these are the bones which are present in the nearby nasal cavity. So these are frontal bone, ethmoid, sphenoid and maxillary. So there is outpouching of the nasal cavity into these parts. They are going to get enlarged and they form air cavities in these bones. Okay. These all paranasal sinuses, they start developing within the intrauterine life, except frontonasal air sinus or the frontal air sinus, which develops after birth. Maxillary air sinus start developing first. Okay. सबसे लास्ट में कौन सा डेवलप होना शुरू करेगा? Frontal air sinuses, which is there in the frontal bone. Most of these, they start developing before birth, except frontal air sinus, which develops after birth. So these are the frontal air sinuses in the frontal bone. Then you have ethmoid sinus, then maxillary air sinus, and sphenoid air sinus will be visible laterally, not from the front view. When there is outpouching of these cavities into the surrounding bone, their opening still remains in the nasal cavity. Okay, so these are going to open into the meatus of the nasal cavity. So where these openings are located, This will be discussed in your gross in the lateral wall of the nose. Okay, all these openings, because starting kahan se hui iske formation ki from the nasal cavity, so all these finally they are going to drain into the nasal cavity. So their openings are there, their orifices are there in the nasal cavity within the meatus of the nasal cavity. Now let's start with the intermaxillary part. Now we will discuss about the development of palate, and it is really interesting. I told you I'll show you the intermaxillary picture afterwards. So this is the intermaxillary part which is derived from the medial nasal process, the one which is marked in yellow color. Okay. So it's going to form the labial component or the philtrum of the lip, then the upper part of the jaw having incisors, 4 incisors, and the palatal component or the premaxilla part of the maxilla. This is the primary palate, which is formed by the fusion of medial nasal process. So now we'll start with the development of palate. We have completed development of face, development of nasal cavity, now development of palate. Development of palate, it is formed by frontonasal process and maxillary process. Frontonasal process का basically medial nasal process part, जो कि दोनों fuse होके they are going to form intermaxillary segment and they are going to form primary palate. Secondary palate is basically derived from the maxillary process. Now what happens? Here you can see in the picture also, there is this mesenchymal swelling on the sides of the maxillary process, on the inside part. Okay, the part which is towards the oral cavity, there is formation of mesenchymal swellings or the palatine process or the lateral palatine process. Okay, the above one, the intermaxillary segment which forms the primary palate, they are derived from the median palatine palate. Now fusion of median palatine process and lateral palatine process, they are going to form complete palate. So there will be fusion along the midline in the form of a Y. Yes, please pay attention. This palate basically, अगर आपने last 5 years के questions उठाए हैं तो आपके एग्जाम में जरूर आते हैं, हमेशा आते हैं. इसका जो एक related anomaly है वो बहुत common है, cleft lip and palate. So it usually come in the form of a question. Okay. So you must know what are the process that are going to form complete palate. So primary palate part, it is derived from the median palatine process. Median palatine process is derived from the intermaxillary segment. And lateral palatine process are derived from the maxillary process. Now these two palatine process, they expand in the midline towards this. ये क्या है? Please pay attention, this row. What we are talking about? ये क्या है? What is this? This is median palatine process or primary palate. What is these? What are these? Lateral palatine process. ये किससे derive हुए हैं? From where they are arising? Maxillary process. What is this? Nasal septum, which comes from above till the palate and divides the nasal cavity from the frontonasal process. Now what is happening? These lateral palatine process, they are growing inside, they are approaching each other and they are approaching primary palate. ये किसकी तरफ जा रहे हैं? Towards the primary palate and towards each other. Okay, so they are going to fuse in the midline like this. Anteriorly they are going to fuse with the primary palate and posteriorly they are going to fuse with each other, and superiorly they are going to fuse with the nasal septum. So they will separate nasal cavity from the oral cavity, and there is a formation of complete definitive palate. ठीक है? So definitive palate जो है, it is derived from primary palate and secondary palate. So if you have seen skull and if you have seen this maxilla part of the skull, there are incisive foramen in the anterior part of the palate. Okay, these incisive foramen are the landmark which separates the primary palate from the secondary palate. So along the line of fusion, यहाँ पे क्या रह जाएगा? Incisive foramina which separates the primary palate from the secondary palate. So fusion of primary with the secondary, it is like they are going to form definitive palate. Yes, और ये फ्यूजन कैसा हो रहा है? इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ वाई. ठीक है, दोनों तरफ से दे आर फ्यूजिंग विद द मीडियन नेजल प्रोसेस एंड दे आर फ्यूजिंग विद ईच अदर एंड दे आर फ्यूजिंग विद द नेजल सेप्टम. सो व्हाट हैपेंस नाउ? जो ये पैलेट फॉर्म हुआ है, मोस्ट ऑफ दिस पैलेट इट ऑसिफाइज. इंटीरियर 3/4 पार्ट ऑफ द पैलेट, ये क्या, इट विल अंडरगो ऑसिफिकेशन. ये बोन फॉर्म कर लेगा. इट इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म हार्ड पैलेट. Posterior 1/3 part remains unossified and it is going to form soft palate. Okay, समझ में आया इतना? Now soft palate की जो muscles हैं, except one muscle, tensor villi palatini, all the muscles these are derived from the, yes, very good. कौन था ये? Very good. So these are derived from the 4th pharyngeal arches. Okay. Muscles of palate, these are derived from the 4th pharyngeal. Muscles of face are derived from the 2nd pharyngeal arches. And what is the nerve supply of all the muscles of face? Facial nerve. If we talk about muscles, so we are talking about motor supply. And here nerve supply will be according to the, from which segment it is derived. Like all the muscles of the palate, they are supplied by 4th artery. क्या है now? Anyone? Vagus. It is supplied by vagus. And except tensor villi palatini. Tensor villi palatini is basically formed by the first arch, so it is supplied by. तो एक ही मोटर ब्रांच है तीनों में से. किसके अंदर है तीनों ब्रांचेस में से मोटर? ट्राइजेमिनल की 3 ब्रांचेस हैं. 3 ब्रांचेस में से एक ही मैंडिबुलर. So the tensor villi palatini is supplied by main trunk of the mandibular nerve. Very good. So incisive foramen जो है, it will lead into 2 incisive canal and basically it is separating primary palate from the secondary palate. So this is the summary of the formation of the palate. अगर किसी ने ध्यान नहीं दिया तो अब ध्यान दे सकता है. Yes. There is frontonasal process forming intermaxillary part, basically medial nasal process. Then primary palate is formed by the intermaxillary part, maxillary process, secondary palate. Fusion of these two forms a complete definitive palate and they are separated by the incisive foramen. Now this definitive palate undergo ossification in the interior 3/4 part, which is going to form hard palate. Posterior 1/4 part is going to form soft palate and uvula. One muscle, tensor villi palatini, derived from the 1st pharyngeal arch and rest of the muscles are derived from the 4th pharyngeal arch. So according to their origin, they are supplied by the mandibular nerve and vagus or superior laryngeal nerve. Now facial anomalies. First one is oblique facial cleft. This is basically non-fusion of lateral nasal process with the maxillary process. It is coming from the median angle of the eye towards the lateral part of the lip. Second anomaly is macrostomia. Macrostomia means widening of the oral fissure. Okay, so there is less overlapping of the oral fissure की जो reduction है, it is done by fusion of the maxillary with the mandibular. So there is less overlapping of the maxillary with the mandibular process. Then the last one is microstomia. Microstomia is basically there is excessive overlapping of maxillary process with the mandibular process, so there is reduced oral fissure. Okay, next, retrognathia or agnathia. Either we have incomplete development of the mandible or we don't have any mandibular process which leads to formation of lower jaw. Next, hypertelorism. Basically frontonasal process is widened here, so they are separating 2 eyes. There is a distance between the 2 eyes because of the wide. Again, there is reduction of overlapping of the frontonasal process. Hair lip or cleft lip, which is the main topic and triple star mark question that comes in your exam. Cleft lip and palate. Okay, so we have seen that palate is formed by the fusion of various processes. Lip is formed by the fusion of various processes. So non-fusion of these processes leads to either cleft lip or cleft palate or both cleft lip and palate. Basically, there is split in the upper lip, then it is known as cleft lip. If there is split in the palate, then it is known as cleft palate. Cleft palate is mostly it is accompanied by the cleft lip. Cleft lip जो है, if there is midline cleft lip, it is because of non-fusion of. If you have understood the lecture, yes, I want to ask student from this side. Cleft lip, ठीक है, median पे अगर center में है, so it is because of non-fusion of which part? Yes, it is non-fusion of upper lip में. अगर हम बात करें, हम lower lip की बात नहीं करेंगे, upper lip. हाँ, क्या बोलो? Yes, between two medial nasal process in the intermaxillary segment. So there is non-fusion. Intermaxillary segment in बनेगा because of non-fusion of medial nasal process. Then इसको hair lip भी बोलते हैं because in the lip of hair there is again a split. That is why this defect, cleft lip, is also known as hair lip defect. So in the first picture we have a complete cleft palate. Complete cleft palate means, and that too only in the one side, so that is unilateral complete cleft palate. So there is complete, there is we are on this left side, okay. So there is left, there is non-fusion of left medial nasal process with the maxillary process, क्योंकि lateral part किससे form हो रहा है? With the fusion of maxillary process with the medial nasal process. So we have non-fusion of medial nasal process with the maxillary process. ठीक है? So there is cleft lip here. And what about this part? So there is non-fusion of lateral palatine process with the premaxilla or median palatine process. So this is complete towards the uvula. So that is unilateral complete cleft palate. Next we have bilateral cleft palate. Here on both the side there is cleft lip. On both the side there is separation between the primary palate from the secondary palate. So there is non-fusion of right and left medial nasal process with the maxillary process, and there is non-fusion of both the lateral palatine process with the intermaxillary segment or premaxilla. Next we have incomplete cleft palate. Most of the part of the palate it is fused except on the posterior part. So this is incomplete palate, यानी कि lateral palatine process have not united in the posterior part. Then last one we have complete palate, but we have cleft lip. और जो cleft lip है, इसके chances ज़्यादा होते हैं. It occurs more frequently as compared to cleft palate. Now the treatment is plastic surgery or reconstructive surgery. So it is treated by the surgery. So we have this cleft lip and palate. कौन सी साइड में है anyone? ये कौन सी साइड का है? राइट साइड या लेफ्ट साइड? cleft lip and palate. On the right side there is non-fusion of lateral palatine process with the median palatine process. So cleft lip, it occurs more in males, and 80% of cases it occurs in the males, and its frequency is more as compared to the it occurs 1 in 1,000. Okay. Then mostly they are genetically related. Either cleft lip or palate, they have multifactorial inheritance. So genes they basically interact with the environmental factors, which leads to formation of cleft lip and palate. So unilateral cleft lip जो है, it is the most common deformity. Then the cleft palate, it is more common in females. Cleft lip is more common in males. Cleft palate is more common in females. The cleft palate, its incidence is not related with the maternal age, whereas cleft lip incidence, it is with the increasing age there are chances of the cleft lip. Okay. So we have discussed this also. You have to draw this diagram in the exam. This is pretty easy. Okay, and here you can also classify them and write down, like आप एक एक करके लिख सकते हो, write 2 lines, not in one go, and आप सोचो कि आपको सारे नंबर मिल जाएंगे. अगर ये इतना ड्रॉ करोगे, कुछ भी नहीं लिखोगे तो 2.5 मार्क्स मिलेंगे. ठीक है, अब पूरा लिखोगे तो, अच्छा डायग्राम बनाओगे तो, और अगर कम लिखोगे, डायग्राम अच्छा बनाओगे तो 3.5. तो मत आना कि हमें कम नंबर क्यों दिए, और कुछ थ्योरी में रह जाता है तो चलो, कौन सा मूवी में है ये एक्टर? कौन सी मूवी में है? कौन है ये? हाँ, ये तो बता दो। अरे ये तो, हाँ हाँ, प्लीज स्टैंड अप एंड आंसर। लियोनार्डो? यस। तो इसका फोटो क्यों दिखाया है मैंने? ब्रेक लेने के लिए? नहीं, इसको भी। यस, ही ऑल्सो सफर्ड, या लाइक ही बॉर्न विद द क्लेफ्ट लिप एंड पैलेट, फिर इसका रिकंस्ट्रक्टिव सर्जरी हुआ था, और इसको देखने से हमें नहीं लगता है कि इसको ऐसा कुछ था, है ना? तो इट इज ट्रीटेबल। तो जो भी अगर की पेरेंट्स हों आपके नज़र में कोई आए तो बोले कि कम्प्लीटली ट्रीट हो सकता है बाय सर्जिकल, तो डरने की कोई बात नहीं है। लेकिन प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी रिलेटेड टू व्हाट? बिकॉज देयर इज कम्युनिकेशन ऑफ ओरल कैविटी विद द nasal cavity, ठीक है? There will be problem of speech, there will be problem in eating, there will be dental problem. These can be treated by the surgery, ठीक है? लास्ट जो है वो है डेवलपमेंट ऑफ टंग। व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ टंग? स्पीच, जो तुम बहुत ज्यादा यूज कर रहे हो अभी। So this is the last topic. This is pretty easy again. There are hardly 2 to 3 slides left. Please pay attention. You can drink water if you want to. Again, मैंने जो cleft lip palate बताया है, triple star mark question. Development of tongue is also triple star mark question. ये 10 marks के question में साथ में आता है gross anatomy of tongue along with the development, and you have to also correlate nerve supply with the development. So tongue develops in the ventral part or in the floor of the primitive pharynx and in the oral cavity. So what is the mucous membrane of tongue? What is the epithelium? And it is derived from? It is included in which system? Tongue, you have studied in which system in histology? GIT. So its mucous membrane is derived from the endoderm. Okay, its fibroalveolar connective tissue is derived from the mesenchyme of the pharyngeal arches and muscles of the tongue. These are basically derived from occipital somites. Somites are basically, they are developed in anyone? Somites, which type of mesoderm? Anyone? There are 3 types of mesoderm. Somites are formed where? क्या हुआ? Somites are formed in which type of? कितने type के mesoderm? Anyone? Yes, paraaxial, intermediate, lateral plate. Very good. अब इन तीनों में से किसके अंदर somites form होते हैं? Paraaxial. So these are developed from the occipital somites, from the paraaxial mesoderm. Muscles of tongue, except one muscle of tongue, palatoglossus. वो अभी पढ़ी हमने, palatoglossus. Actually, palatoglossus is included in the muscles of soft palate also, and it is extends from soft palate to the posterior part of the tongue. It is also having function. It is involved in the movement of the tongue also. So it is involved. It is also categorized as tongue muscle. So palatoglossus is derived from the 4th pharyngeal arch, and all the muscles are derived from the occipital myotome. So the nerve supply of palatoglossus will be different as compared to these muscles. Palatoglossus is supplied by again vagus or the pharyngeal plexus. Will see अभी हमने vagus पढ़ रहे हैं because we are talking about arches. Now with time in the gross you will also study formation of pharyngeal plexus, which is formed along with this 9th cranial nerve and the cranial root of accessory nerve. ठीक है? So this palatoglossus is supplied by cranial root of accessory nerve via pharyngeal plexus, which is formed by mainly by the vagus and glossopharyngeal. So हो गया break सबका? ठीक है? Now let's start with the mesenchymal part of the tongue. ठीक है? एंडोडर्म, ये ब्रेक एक्स्ट्रा नॉलेज था, वो हम साइड में रख देते हैं, जिसको लिखना हो वो नोट डाउन कर सकता है. नेक्स्ट, फॉर द एम्ब्रियोलॉजी ऑफ द टंग, इट इज वेरी इजी. ठीक है? Grossly, tongue is divided into anterior 2/3 part and posterior 1/3 part and posterior most part. Anterior 2/3 part is separated from the posterior 1/3 part by a V-shaped sulcus which is known as sulcus terminalis. So here in the first pharyngeal arch, ये देखे थे ना last class में pharyngeal arches. So here in the first pharyngeal arch, in the midline there is a swelling which is known as tuberculum impar. This is a mesenchymal swelling over here. It is surrounded by two lateral lingual swelling. Fusion of this tuberculum impar with the two lateral, yes, keep quiet now and pay attention. Fusion of lateral lingual swelling with the tuberculum impar, they are going to form anterior 2/3 part of the tongue. Okay, so anterior 2/3 part of tongue is derived from the first pharyngeal arch because these swellings are formed in the first pharyngeal arch. In the center there is formation of tuberculum impar and laterally there are two paired swellings which are known as lingual swelling. These swellings, they come towards each other, they fuse with each other and they form anterior 2/3 part of the tongue. Now caudal to these pharyngeal arch, first pharyngeal arch, we have second, third and fourth pharyngeal arch. Again a rounded swelling is formed over here which is known as hypobranchial eminence. Okay. Now hypobranchial eminence in the region of the third and the fourth part, it overlaps the second one and it goes out and fuses with the posterior part of anterior 2/3 part of tongue along the sulcus terminalis and it is going to form posterior 1/3 part of the tongue. So posterior 1/3 part of the tongue is formed by the hypobranchial eminence, mainly by the third pharyngeal arch, and posterior most part of the tongue is formed by the fourth pharyngeal arch. So cranial part of the fourth pharyngeal arch, it forms hypobranchial eminence along with the second and the third pharyngeal arches. Caudal part of the pharyngeal arch, it is going to form one cartilage of the larynx that I told you I'll teach here, that is epiglottis. Epiglottis is formed by the caudal part of the fourth pharyngeal arch. Below the epiglottis, there is formation of laryngotracheal groove. Now you can connect this part with the development of respiratory system. From this laryngotracheal groove, there is downward outgrowth of respiratory bud which is going to form two right and left lung bud. Okay, so this is the part of laryngotracheal groove. This part is going to form epiglottis and this part of the fourth arch is going to fuse with the third one and going to form what? Posterior 1/3 part. So basically how many swellings are involved? There are 3 swellings. मतलब वैसे हम numbers की बात नहीं करें, नाम की बात करें. वैसे paired swellings है, 2 lingual swellings. So we have tuberculum impar and lingual swelling developed in the first pharyngeal arch. They are going to form anterior 2/3 part of the tongue. And we have hypobranchial eminence. Here there is no contribution of second arch. तो उसको हम छोड़ दें क्योंकि वो नीचे रह जाएगा. Third and fourth arch जो hypobranchial eminence बना रहा है वो उसको overlap करेगा and it goes towards the posterior part of anterior part of tongue and fuses with it along the sulcus terminalis. Okay. So hypobranchial eminence in the posterior part, anterior part, tuberculum impar and lingual swelling. Now can we derive nerve supply, sensory nerve supply of tongue from this anterior 2/3 part? These swellings are arising from the first pharyngeal arch. First pharyngeal arch, basically nerve of first pharyngeal arch is trigeminal. Trigeminal का भी which part is going to? It is known mandibular, not maxillary. Mandibular. Again which branch of mandibular? So lingual nerve tongue को supply करिए. So lingual nerve is the post-traumatic branch of first arch which gives general sensation to. General sensation का मतलब क्या है? Pain and temperature sensation to anterior 2/3 part of the tongue. Now what is the pre-traumatic branch of first arch? Anyone? Pre-traumatic branch of the first arch, cauda tympani, which is the branch of facial nerve. It is going to take which kind of sensation from the anterior 2/3 part of tongue? Tongue और क्या काम करती है बोलने के अलावा? Taste sensation, helps in mastication and taste sensation. So taste sensation will be carried by chorda tympani. Yes. Why? Because these swellings are derived from the first pharyngeal arch. Lingual nerve is post-traumatic branch of first pharyngeal arch. Chorda tympani is the pre-traumatic branch of first pharyngeal arch. Now, posterior 1/3 part of the tongue is mostly contributed by the third pharyngeal arch. What is the nerve of third pharyngeal arch? Glossopharyngeal. So, posterior 1/3 part of the tongue behind sulcus terminalis is supplied by glossopharyngeal. We are talking about general sensation. Posterior most part of the tongue is formed by fourth pharyngeal arch. Nerve of fourth pharyngeal arch, vagus. Superior laryngeal nerve is going to supply posterior 1/3 part, and here taste sensation are also carried by these nerves. Okay, in the posterior 1/3 part, taste sensation are carried by the glossopharyngeal and posterior most part by the vagus. In anterior 2/3 part, there is a different nerve for that, that is chorda tympani. So there may be a question which will be asked to correlate the development with the nerve supply of tongue. Occipital myotomes, these are developed from the somites, so they carry their nerve with them. Their nerve is lingual को मसल्स को कौन सी नर्व सप्लाई करती है? टंग मसल्स को. There is this 12th cranial nerve which is hypoglossal. It is purely motor nerve. So hypoglossal nerve is the motor supply of the tongue, and it is going to supply all the muscles of the tongue except palatoglossus. Yeah, वो fourth arch से develop हो रही है, so it is supplied by the vagus. ठीक है, so this is all about tongue. Anyone from this side, can you just name these structures? हाँ, ऊपर से नहीं देखना है. Two rounded swelling laterally arising from the first arch are the two rounded swelling. सबसे ऊपर two rounded swellings are these are inguinal. Two lateral inguinal. Yes. अपने दिमाग पे भी थोड़ा, उस पे नहीं, अपने दिमाग भी लगाओ. ये हमारा ओरल कैविटी पार्ट है, तो इट विल बी टू लैटरल. तो आपने मेरे को तो लिंगुइनल नहीं है, लिंगुअल. यस. मिडलाइन स्वेलिंग, tuberculum, आगे tuberculum impar. So fusion of tuberculum impar and two lateral lingual swelling is going to form anterior 2/3 part of the tongue. Foramen cecum कहाँ से दिख गया, वो तो अभी बताया भी नहीं है मैंने. Sulcus terminalis I told you. Then now posterior 1/3 and posterior most part are formed by third and fourth pharyngeal arch by a swelling which is known as hypobranchial eminence. Now this guy told me foramen cecum. So what is foramen cecum here? Foramen cecum एक उसमें भी पढ़ोगे आप, स्कल के अंदर, एक टंग में और एक मेडुला में. ठीक है. Foramen cecum here, it is basically location from where thyroglossal duct it invaginates and it's going to form thyroid gland. ठीक है. फिर वो thyroid gland regress कर जाता है and its point of origin is marked here as foramen cecum. Basically it is present at the meeting point of two limbs of V in the center. ठीक है. Anterior to this, what are the those papillae which are present anterior? There are 10 papillae in front of this sulcus terminalis. Large papillae are there, large taste buds. Circumvallate papillae. See, circumvallate papillae, these are present in basically at the posterior 1/3 part, okay, along the sulcus terminalis. But taste sensation from here, this is not supplied by the chorda tympani. These are located, हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? आपको पता है dorsum of the tongue, anterior two-third part of tongue, they have numerous papillae, they have taste buds. So all of these taste buds basically they are supplied by chorda tympani. Okay, these are in anterior two-third. Now these 8 to 10 papillae which are present in the posterior one-third part of the tongue, these are the large papillae, circumvallate papillae. Nerve supply of circumvallate, like posterior one-third, is glossopharyngeal. Taste sensation is also there by the glossopharyngeal, but circumvallate papillae will be supplied by chorda tympani. So there is this exception because during development only some cells from the interior part they migrate here into the posterior. So their nerve supply remains same, chorda tympani. So taste sensation of posterior one-third is by glossopharyngeal except from circumvallate papillae which is via chorda tympani. Anomalies, aglossia is absence of tongue. Hemiglossia, अगर एक साइड का फ्लूज नहीं किया तो hemiglossia. Then bifid tongue, अगर anterior part में there is non-fusion of two lingual swellings. Then tongue tie is basically short frenulum. If you raise your tongue above, there is a frenulum which is attached to the floor of the cavity. If it is shortened, then there is a tongue tie. Ankyloglossia superior, basically adherence of the tongue to the palate. And last is microglossia, which is reduced size of tongue. So this completes our topic of today.